Hello folks, so I have set up the board to take my new Renogy 48 volt solar inverter charger. We've set up the positive feed to the battery to go through a fuse, and it's going to come up to my on-off switch before it runs to the leads of the battery. And then I'm going to measure and cut the negative cable that will run to this bus bar that I'm going to mount onto the board, from which our battery cable will connect. I was able to purchase this complete unit as well as this one from a local solar company that will run out of the on-off switch, and this negative lead will run from the bus bar. Alright, so in order to complete the installation of the on-off switch, I've secured one corner of the box with a long 3-inch screw, and I'm just going to mark on the board so that I can drill a small hole. Better. With our 3-inch screws. So that's good and solid. Now we're going to disconnect the screws so that I can take the top off and fix the cable. For those who aren't familiar with these on-off buttons, this is just a single pole. In a lot of marine situations we use these with 1, 2, or both connections so that you can have more than one battery or a different battery connected depending on what setting we leave it at. So now there's an input and an output. The cable coming from the inverter will be the input. We want the positive with the red Anderson connector is going to feed from the other side. And then you'll see how the underbody has potential multiple openings, but in this application we're just going to be using it to come out the bottom, so we don't have to punch any of the other sides out. Before we do that, we'll apply nuts. Came with the unit to tighten up and make a secure solid connection to the battery lug terminals. We use our crescent wrench to tighten them. You want them tight but not too tight. We can hopefully get the cover to slide over. There, good solid connection. So the next thing I will be doing, I'll get some clamps, clamp the wire so that it's held in place and won't move. The next item is our bus bar for the black wire. That is fairly level. You'll notice that the board is out from the wall. I put a couple of cross pieces of strapping in that I then bolted the board. It just reduces the number of holes we're making in the wall, and that when I take it apart I will have less spackle repair to make, as I'm sure my partner will require. So this is referred to as a bus bar, and the solid stainless steel plate along the back will carry the current to the other terminals so that you can have multiple leads feeding into it, or the leads would come from your different devices. In here, like this. This system is designed to put one nut on and then come in with a backup nut so as to have it secure onto the bus bar. There's then a split washer, which, as most of you know, will serve to have pressure after the nut is tightened and prevent it from vibrating loose. If you were in a boat situation, you may well have multiple settings and a boat vibrating from the wave action and or the engine vibrations. The beauty of the electric motor is that there's little or no vibration involved and would not be as critical, but it is still a good idea. So you'll notice the red tape on the two outside terminals, this being the second one. The purpose of the red tape, quite frankly, was to be able to allow us to fit on a little more snugly the protective covering over the terminals. And it was a mixture of two systems, Blue Sea, and this was a knockoff that I picked up a little more cheaply than what the Blue Sea was quoted in the catalog. Again, I put a split ring to take the second set of nuts, and also the other reason for using the crescent wrench, they were a slightly different size nuts, and in the end I'll be able to slip the cover over, and that will provide the protection. But you still need to measure and cut the ground cable coming from the inverter.